Good morning. It's the wee small hours of a Sunday morning. Let's just talk about Disney for a minute, man. This is embarrassing. So Disney on Friday, I was gonna say the 28th. Yesterday was the 28th, but Disney recently released their Peter Pan and Wendy movie, and okay, so let me just get this out of the way. I'm not rubbing my eyes because of how you know tired ticked I am, I should say. I'm rubbing my eyes mainly because it's 4:30 in the morning when I'm doing this movie, and I'm about ready to take a shower. So get ready for work. Sorry. So in case I seem a little out of it, that's my fault. But anyway, yeah, the new Peter Pan and Wendy movie. I don't even know what to say anymore. It's just Disney needs to stop. Just it's like they've run out of ideas. Just original ideas. I mean, they're coming out with that Pixar movie, Elemental, but I mean, that's the closest thing to originality for them. But yeah, Peter Pan and Wendy, like, come on. Look, their Pinocchio remake, one of my favorite Disney movies. They butchered it. And as per usual, as per Disney tradition, it's natural to castrate a classic that shouldn't be remade, specifically with, like, Pinocchio. That shouldn't have been remade in general. I'm all for a different, remake, just not from the same studio that made it an absolute classic. Especially when Walt probably even doesn't want it to be a remade movie in the first place. Don't remake a movie unless you're going to do something different with it. Or, use the source material. That's like if they did Harry Potter, you know, well, actually, they're doing that now, actually. They're making another Harry Potter series on HBO Max when there's no need for it. It's just not right, man. These remakes are not right. But Disney specifically is guilty of it. But this all started back in. Jeez, I don't even know. I think it was when Maleficent came out with Angelina Jolie. And that movie wasn't terrible. And then they remade Cinderella, which that also wasn't terrible, excuse me. And there was just no need for it. There was no need for it to be remade, but they remade it anyway. Then they came out with The Jungle Book, which honestly was shocking how decent it was. Then, of course, the same guy who did it did the remake of A Lion King, and that was abysmal. That was literally shot for shot remade. It was basically Disney saying, we got better at animating, and added one or two different things about it. And it's getting out of hand, these remakes now. And the Peter Pan and Wendy movie specifically just really hit me hard. So, before I went to bed, Peter Pan and Wendy came out. I was semi interested in it, only because the director, David Lowery, did one of my favorite movies called The Green Knight, and also he did a Disney remake that I haven't seen but I've heard great things about. And yeah, then I watched Peter Pan and Wendy, and I was bored to death. I could have just been tired, and I'll watch it again later today after lifting, after work. But that was. I actually legitimately fell asleep. I was just bored. And don't even get me started on the way the movie looks is so ugly. It's so ugly. there's a moment where they're in a cave, and it's just it looks like a fever dream. It looks something straight out of a dream I would have. It just has such a weird look to it. It's too green. The best way I can describe it is when not the Deathly Hallows, Jesus. When the Half-Blood Prince, when that movie came out, that movie had a weird green color palette. That scene in Peter Pan and Wendy was the Half-Blood Prince times two. It was just the most bland, colorless color. Oh my gosh, I can't even speak. It's 4 a.m. I'm not putting this much effort into this video. But yeah, it is just the most bland, dull cave I've seen in quite some time. It looks not horrific. I was gonna say horrific. It's not that bad, but it just looks so. Especially since the director himself even said the color's not bad. Like, I updated the way the film looks, so it looks a lot better than what the trailers are showing. But of course, it doesn't look any better. Even in the daytime sequences, they're so dull looking. I can see why this was released on Disney Plus, because it looks like a straight to streaming, straight to DVD remake. And not only that, it's just super forgettable. And the thing that really caught my attention was the critics. I mean, I stopped trusting Rotten Tomatoes critics for quite some time now. I just stopped believing in them because they're just I just don't care. Okay, I need to hurry this up. I just glanced at my watch. It's close to 5. I need to eat something before I go, and I also gotta take a shower. I have time. What am I stressing about? Work doesn't start until 6. I don't care. So, yeah, the Rotten Tomatoes critics, I mean, it's just so, like, they're positive, which I guess is, some bit of praise, especially for Disney, but for this movie specifically, it's like, what? Like, so you give this movie a pass, but yet Mario plays it too safe. Peter Pan and Wendy plays it too safe. There's a moment in the movie where Peter Pan says, "This is not fun anymore." And I could not agree more. That was when I just now woke up, is when they were fighting. And I caught that line of dialogue, and I actually almost bursted out laughing at 2 a.m. I almost bursted out laughing, because I was just like, that is so true. That is fitting for this movie, the fact that Peter Pan himself said that. Okay, I got it pulled up on my phone. I'm just going to read it out loud. So right now it's at, oh jeez, it's at a 67%. I mean, you can check this on their website. 67% Peter Pan and Wendy's obligatory fidelity to the animated classic keeps it from achieving Neverland Nirvana. It's obviously true. All Disney remakes lack any sort of magic. This movie has no magic, but David Lowery's pensive direction gives this rendition some of its own magic. No. No. This movie has no... Okay, that's a bit unfair. It has some magic. Okay, that's giving it too much credit. I don't want to say it has magic, but that's because David Lowery, he knows how to turn a movie magical in its own right. So I guess that's true there. But if this was not a Peter Pan movie, if this was any type of, fantasy kids movie that didn't have the Peter Pan IP attached to it, I would have been perfectly fine. But just no. I mean, I'm gonna read some of these reviews. smarter and way more magical than Spielberg's Hook. Okay. No. That's just. I was a big fan of Hook to begin with, but. It's not any better. Some guy said a little more pixie dust, please. I could not agree more. Probably the smartest of the live action Disney films to date. Yeah. Just. Like, what? Like, how is that smart? It's the same movie. It's the same movie you've seen Disney do a million times. I mean, they even added girls, which I'm gonna ignore the whole race swapping thing for a minute, but just why? I mean, they even explain it in the novel why girls never went to Neverland to begin with. It's because they're too smart, which is true. Us boys, we're idiots. We always fall out of our cribs and go off to Neverland. Don't believe me? Read the book. They literally say the reason why girls don't go to Neverland is because they don't fall out of their cribs, and Peter Pan doesn't take them away because of it, because they're too smart. They are too smart. And that makes sense. But sure, inclusion is fine, but not in this movie, man. I'm gonna ignore the whole Tinkerbell thing, but on top of that, I figured I'd talk about this really quick. I'm gonna be really brief about this as best I can, but I'm gonna look this up. I mean, so at the end of May, that's when the new Little Mermaid's gonna come out. First of all, I mean, yeah, Flounder and most of the fish. Well, Flounder's the only fish that actually talks, I'm pretty sure. But Scuttle, Flounder, and Sebastian, they're just essentially the same characters and the same creatures from the animated movie, but yet, they're live action. Well, why? Then I'm just basically watching a bird talk. A real bird, a real fish talk, and a real crab talk. It's not fun. It's not even that cool. The reason why it works in the animated realm is because it's animated. It doesn't work in live action. But unless of course you're Disney, then you live in this fantasy world where, everything is magic. But no. First of all, I'm just gonna point this out here, but the new live action remake of the Little Mermaid, I will only watch for a cheap price in the theater, and that's it. Or I might just illegally stream it. I don't know. But Disney needs to stop with this. Just stop their live action movies. They need to stop. They've made one too many, and it's gotten to the point where even I'm pretty sure when I took a look at Peter Pan and Wendy, even people are sick and tired of it. It's like at a 20 in what the audience thinks of it. Like even your own audience, Disney, is sick of it. So because I'm just like a Z-lister, well, I'm lower than a Z-lister YouTuber with like 10 subscribers, but Disney just needs to stop this. Like, make some original movies and do something fun and clever again. I don't know. I used to love Disney. In fact, I went to Disneyland last summer. Last summer. And that was fun. That was legitimately magical. But I found out the Pirates of the Caribbean ride was, shut down, so of course it was not so magical anymore. But yeah, I don't know what point I was going to make, but either way, I still had a fun time, and it gave me hope, even in that time, because I knew Disney was still making live action movies, but during that time period, I thought maybe Disney can still make decent movies. But then Lightyear, of course, came out like what, that week, and I watched it, and it wasn't good. It was, it wasn't good at all. And yeah, that aside, Disney, it just breaks my heart. Well, seeing the corporation fail, that's the most entertaining part of all this. But yeah, Disney just needs to stop with this. They need to make more original movies and bring back the magic that was lacking in any sort of their movies. If you want to make a live action princess movie, create a different princess. Don't remake the princess. And the fact that they have more of these sequels coming, like Toy Story 5, I'm pretty sure is in the works. I'm pretty sure Inside Out's been confirmed. Inside Out 2 has been confirmed. Zootopia 2. Just all these sequels that essentially are going to be so hollow and nothing. They are going to be nothing burgers of movies, I'm pretty sure. No matter how much effort are put into it, it's just going to be the same movie we've seen a bajillion times, except not as good. And yeah, I really hope Disney can get out of this jam, but I'm not holding my breath. Anyway, I better hop in the shower, get ready for work. But I figured I'd talk about this because, yeah, just last night I was not feeling the Peter Pan and Wendy movie, and I'll rewatch it, and maybe I'll make another video. If I don't make another video on it, like saying I'm wrong, this movie actually wasn't bad, which is that's a rare possibility. But if you do see an extra video tomorrow morning saying Peter Pan and Wendy was great, then yeah. But no, this movie was not good at all. I mean, you can tell I fell asleep. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up.